Oh, there we go. Boom. Okay. We should be live then in a sec. We should start seeing it because there's that delay. Good, good.
You see it?
Yep. There we are. Okay.
Nice.
So we're back. Heartbreak Hogs podcast is back. Um, there's a lot that's happened this week. Baseball and softball. They're both playing Ole Miss tomorrow. Softball's in the Super Regional, and then baseball, we are going to the SEC tournament, and we're going to go into a little bit of basketball and football here, but it's mainly going to be baseball. But congratulations to Bree Ellis softball team and Aloy for winning the MVPs for the conference, the SEC MVPs, and then Bree Ellis even won MVP of the whole softball league. So that's pretty cool. Sports are for 2025. It looks like we're on the come up. So that's good. Basketball got it together at the beginning of the year. You know, that Sweet 16 run was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, it didn't end the best, but you know, because you really felt like that we should have won that game and that we should have advanced to the Elite Eight, but still, like, they turned it around. It was fun. It was great seeing the Hogs beat two Hall of Fame coaches, you know, and then now baseball, you know, high expectations. Softball, it looks like that they're getting after it. It'd be really cool to see if they get past their super regional. And I don't think softball's ever made it to Omaha, so that would be really big for them. But Sid, I wanted to go into this discussion with you is the SEC tournaments. This has kind of been a big talking point. Is there really a point to the SEC tournaments? What's your take on that? I want to hear your take first before.
I think I still think it's a lot like basketball in terms of the SEC tournament goes and the tournament play. Yes, to a degree, it's worth it. One for seeding, but it's all like in degree, it's worth it in terms of um, more of a morale for your fans.
Mm,
It's a good way to end the season. It's a good way to show that you're still on top, especially with baseball compared to
mm,
basketball. I think with baseball, we're expected to do well,
right.
um, and with the seating that we got, and we played not as many games to get to that championship level. I think it's very possible for us to get there. In terms of winning it, I don't necessarily want it as much. Obviously,
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of
Yeah.
people want it as much as we do in Omaha, right? It's
Right.
not a matter of how far we get when you compare that level of where we want to get to in Omaha.
Yep.
This SEC tournament win would be very marginal, very small compared to
Mm-hmm.
how much we really want to get far in Omaha.
Right.
That's not
Yep.
to discount this tournament. I'm just saying compared to Omaha and compared
Yeah.
to how everybody feels, not just Arkansas fans. Um, I think Omaha is the big cake, and this is a small slice. And this is a slice that gets us started, gets some momentum into that series as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say I am gonna cut down this tournament a little bit. I
Mhm.
think the
I
idea
figured
of
that was
it,
coming.
the idea of it is awesome. Like, you want to see the best of the best playing each other. You want to see your team get redemption against maybe a team that we lost in a series like Georgia or Florida. Get redemption against those guys. But the reality is the longer that we're in this tournament, the SEC conference tournament, the less rest we're gonna get in the actual postseason. And again, it all sounds awesome. We would love to see the top matchups, especially in a strong SEC baseball conference. Like, half of the conference is expected to make it to the super regionals, you know, like it. And honestly, like, would we be that surprised if 10 SEC teams made it to like
Mhm.
Omaha or something like that? So it would in theory it sounds awesome, but it also then you can have injury too, because you're playing high level competition. So for me at least, it's like, ah man, like let's just let, let's play in the tournament, but let's not push it too hard. It would be cool, like you
Right.
said, to win the whole tournament, but would we rather be one and done in the SEC tournament and go to Omaha, or win the SEC tournament and lose in our own regional? I would take Omaha trip 100%. Like,
Right.
you know, and that kind of leads into the next thing is what is the expectation here for you, for baseball? You and I, whenever we were in college, uh, gosh, I guess that was 5 years ago. Wow. Um, back whenever we were in college, right before I transferred into Arkansas, I
Mhm.
that summer was whenever the Razorbacks went to the national championship game against Oregon State. So it like went from Arkansas was always expected to be pretty good to they're expected to, get to the national championship now. When we were there, that was an expectation. They were going to Omaha again while we were there. So what's your expectation here? Because the last 2 years we haven't made it past our own regional. Is making it to the super regional enough to say this was successful and that we're back on track, or do we need to make it into Omaha and we're back on track, or is it that you need to win, a couple games in Omaha? Because if they go into Omaha and then they lose their first two games in there and they're out, I feel like that would even be disappointing. Because that
Yeah.
is what's cool about this is that we do have expectations, unlike football right now, which
Hmm.
I would love to see really good. The expectations are kind of mid, like just get 7 or 8 wins. Like that's kind of our expectations. But baseball, it's like for me, it really does seem like championship or bust. I know I'm rambling on here, but
No,
yeah,
for
what's your
sure.
take on all that?
For sure. I think it's for me, it's make it far in Omaha. I know
Mm-hmm.
it sounds greedy, but it's not really.
Yep.
That's what I believe, especially for baseball, every fan expects um, this. And especially for Van Horn, I think that I don't know how many years he's got,
I know there's
but
that.
but I do think if he wants to prove himself, like
He's got
he's
one
got to
more
do
thing to
so
do.
now.
Like he's
He's
done
got
everything
exactly,
except for this one
exactly.
thing. Everything.
So
Coach of the year, SEC
right,
tournament champion, regular
right.
season champion. Like
He
one
just
more
has
thing.
to. I think I think he solidifies himself like as the best, if not like the greatest, if he wins this for us this year. If not, there's. It sounds crazy, but like how long do we keep with Van Horn before we're
Right.
like, you can't get us there? As much as how great you are, we just have to like move on. Like whether he goes into retirement or whatever, I
Right.
think there's a line where as Arkansas Razorback fans, especially for baseball,
Yeah.
since we were saying we were expecting this,
Right.
it's tough to let go of somebody that's good but not great.
Right.
Um, and especially
I mean, I would put
somebody
him
that's
as great. I
yeah,
would
yeah, that's
say
what I
he
was
is
gonna say.
great, but
Somebody who's
yeah.
great, but not just still can't get you there. There's a step
Right. Right.
above great that I'm thinking of
Yeah.
where
Like elite.
just exactly. Um,
Yeah.
and even elite, I would say he's elite, but
Yeah. I know.
um, it's just
Champion. Champion is
like
what we're looking for.
exactly,
He's not champion.
exactly. We just want a championship,
Yeah.
and if you can't get us there, as much as I hurt to get rid of him
Right. Right.
as someone who's an elite coach,
Yep.
it's just something that we're gonna have to swallow and do so. But again, this isn't to say dog on him because he's proven year in year out he can be great,
Yeah.
which we don't get that from a lot of Arkansas sports.
Right.
We really don't.
Well,
And
2025
so,
is looking like that could be changing around, Sid. That could be changing for
yeah,
2025.
it's always, with the Razorbacks, as many know, it's always the climb up before they let us fall down.
Hey
It's
man, we're
always
trying to
the
change the narrative around
bas
here.
it's always the basketball. We beat two great head coaches and we lose in
Right.
the worst way possible.
Uh,
Um, so I
I am
don't want that to
excited what's
happen.
happening with basketball. We do need to get into that
Yeah,
after this, but
especially with how we lost. It was a couple years ago now, but how we didn't get into Omaha because even though everybody had expected us and heavy favorites,
uh-huh.
um, it's just those brutal losses hurt more than just a given win. Honestly,
Right.
those are very well remembered. Um, compared to the given wins. So I just hope
Mhm.
we don't lose brutally again.
Yeah.
And I hope we at least succeed into getting to Omaha.
Yeah, I mean it sounds like that we're not really going to make too big of a fuss if they go out in the SEC tournament. Heck, I would like to see us win the SEC tournament. Like that would be cool.
Sure, because
But
it
again,
to
like
your point,
that
like
better not be
injuries,
the only thing we win, you know?
right?
Like
And to your point, like injuries make sense, but it's compared to basketball to
right.
baseball, they still have some time to go into before they play. I believe again.
Into the
Well,
regional you're talking about?
right, right.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, I don't think their seeding's really going to change for the regionals if they go one and done in the SEC tournament, or I guess two and done, or anything like
Mhm.
that. I think that the selection committee, the people that select all the regional teams and all that, they kind of know that the top teams in the conference tournaments, like they're not really trying that hard. They're not putting their all into this. They're not risking their starters.
Right,
So, they are. I think that a lot of our seating's already solidified. It's not official yet, but like
right.
they have an idea of where they want to put Arkansas and the teams that they want to put in there. But yeah, I mean, just it would be cool, but I'm not gonna lose sweat or lose sleep over it. If we get knocked out in the SEC tournament, but man, if we don't advance in the regionals, like you were saying, does there needs to be a discussion about Dave Van Horn? Obviously as
Right.
fans, we can't really do anything, and we can we can sit over here and complain about it and whatnot. But I mean, it is a question of does he still have that fire in him? Is he just here to kind of hang out and drift away into retirement, or is he here to win a natty? Um,
Right.
and I would hope that it's to win a natty, and then maybe he could retire at the end of that natty. But anyway, yeah, I'm with you. I think that we need to get to Omaha, and we need to make a run in Omaha, and it's very close to natty or bust for me. Very close. Um,
Um, absolutely. I agree. In terms of regional, I was just seeing to see when it starts, but I believe it should be around next week, next Friday,
mhm.
or Saturday. I think it's next Friday.
It's tomorrow. Oh no, the regional. Sorry, the
Yeah,
regional.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, SEC tournament game is tomorrow, and then for
Hmm.
softball, they play tomorrow in their super regional. Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. And that's no disrespect to Dave Van Horn to be saying natty or bust. It's more of like, hey, um, respect to what you've built here, and respect to everything, because like it means a lot whenever you've built a foundation like that. Hats off to you. But
Right.
like, are you still, at that level? Are you still there, or have things changed enough where, that's not your goal anymore? Um,
And one last thing, since it's tomorrow, the SEC tournament, I
yeah.
still like it's still a pride thing in terms of winning the SEC tournament. So I
Yeah.
still want them to go out tomorrow and beat Ole Miss.
Yes.
So go out Saturday and like win. So we'll see.
Yeah. Go
But
out and win.
um,
Yeah.
that's really it. Like honestly, So it's still a pride thing, and I hope we just don't get embarrassed in any of these, and it's just ride a momentum into the regionals.
Right. Um, let's see here. Let's go into a little bit of basketball. The Boogie Flan
Yeah.
situation is a really weird one, because he's not going to go to the NBA as a Razorback. I
Hmm.
wish him all the luck. I don't have anything against him. I had a lot of respect for him coming back uh, to play in the NCAA tournament. I think that him being there, maybe he wasn't the leading scorer or the top contributor, but he added depth and he added passion to the team. I respect the heck out of him for that. Um, and but it is tough. Like, I did think that he was going to go to the NBA, he was going to be a Razorback, but now he's going to Florida. And what makes that tough to watch is, one, it's in conference. You don't want to play your old
Yeah.
players in conference and potentially lose to them. The other thing is the national championship team. You don't want to play one of your guys that's now on a potential another national championship contender that's also in your conference. So that's going to be tough to watch. You
Did
know,
he say why he committed to Florida? I don't know if he. I know I tweeted it out that he's committing. I don't know if he specifically
I
said. I
it's
mean, we can always
probably
speculate,
money.
but probably. I do think. Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
I
Out
think
of
that's
everything,
probably the most part is money. He probably didn't get the bid guarantee that he wanted, and so that's why he
mhm.
stuck his name back in the transfer portal right before the draft. I think that he was getting wind. He was getting told that, hey, I don't know if we can get these guarantees. Has a backup, put your name back in the portal, and then I think Florida hit him up and was
If
like, "Yo, come on over here, buddy."
you're right. To be frank, like if it like to your point, I do wish the best for him, but
Mm-hmm.
for Arkansas and our team, I'm kind of glad that we didn't pay him as much as Florida did,
Yeah.
if it is money reason,
Yes.
because of the proven factor. Like I know he's coming out of high school. Great.
Yeah.
I was honestly the most hyped for him coming into Arkansas. And so that's not to say he can't prove that at Florida. I just
Right.
know he hasn't proved it here to be able to be worth that much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so again, nothing but the best for him. But I think what he showed here, and unfortunately he got hurt. So
Right.
that's not on him either. I just think we need players that
To fit the
we
system
can like
here, you
fit the
know.
system. We can essentially gamble, but gamble well on,
Right.
rather than just committing to somebody that
I mean, you've got DJ Wagner coming back. You've got Acuff coming in. Like,
it's a lot of
there.
family ties too, right?
Yeah.
So that are still coming back. So um, to Boogie's point, maybe he wouldn't have been the
Yeah.
star here if he even came back.
No, I don't think so. And it just didn't seem like that the fit was there. It would have been nice to keep him, but like not, break the bank on him. And,
Right.
and no disrespect to him, like I do think he is an outstanding player. It's just we've got other players that fit the system. I personally
I think
believe
role
are
players are
better
more
for that
important for
system.
us, right? I think role players are more important for us than a star player or a superstar player. That's not to say the role players can't be stars either. I'm just saying
Right.
one guy that essentially is the team. I don't think that's our team anymore,
Right.
um, or especially this team. So with Boogie, I think that's what he was expecting, and I don't even know if that's what he's going to get at Florida. Um, with the talent that they have there. So um, I just know for us, I think this was the right decision.
Right. Um so this is interesting. I guess this, I don't know if it was yesterday, which would be because we're recording this on Thursday. I think it was either late Tuesday night, and then maybe the news started, shooting off on Wednesday. But Knox and Thero are expected to come back. Not like it's more from just one analyst. I forgot the guy's name, but it's interesting. Like it's not a for sure thing, but like rumors are starting to, come out that Knox and Thero. We already kind of knew this about Knox, that he wasn't going to be a lock in the NBA draft, but
Right.
Thero, it was kind of like, no, that's going to be a pipe dream for him to come back if you're a Razorback fan. But now it's like they can both potentially come back. If that happens, man, this team, there is no excuse for this team to have any of the issues that we were facing in the regular season last year. Like this team has got to be good, Nick. Like throughout the
Yeah.
whole season, like you cannot have the scare that we were having last year, especially with Knox and Thero coming back.
Yeah, with Thero, I think would want him back, and Knox as well.
Yeah,
It'd be interesting to see if
Knox
they
for
stay as
sure. Like,
well.
yeah,
Um, or they take the pay as well to go to a different team. But I think,
I think
yeah,
we're
I
gonna
mean,
lock them
both of
in.
them.
Like, I don't think they're going anywhere. They're not. And Thero can't even hit. Neither of them can hit the portal, because they didn't put their names in
Yeah,
it.
I'm seeing like in terms for Knox, a lot of places have him going undrafted. Um, Theo, on
Yeah,
the other hand, he's projected late round two
second.
from
Yeah,
most
I was gonna
places.
say.
Um, so that's also possible. I'm surprised Boogie backed out though. He's still projected high. So I mean, I guess maybe he just didn't want to risk it and wanted to go higher. And
Yeah,
Florida, I'm sure, paid him pretty well
and
to
Boogie
like
would have been
make up
higher
for it.
than Thero.
Both. Yeah, he would have been
Yeah,
higher than Theo. So I don't know. Interesting.
yeah. Wow. Well, let's see. We've been on for about 20 so minutes. I know you have something, but uh, is there anything else that you wanted to touch up on basketball before we moved on into a little bit of the football stuff?
Um, it's basketball related, but just shout out to Isaiah Joe and Jalen Williams. They're in the
But yeah.
conference championship
Yep.
right now with the OKC Thunder. So it's always good to see like Arkansas players just excel, and they're killing it. And I just love that this OKC team too. Just a
Hmm.
young team, so I'm glad they're getting some playing time and doing well.
Well, actually, speaking of the NBA, let's go back here to the NBA draft. Um, there's potential that Cal might not have anybody drafted next year if Thero comes back. If Thero and Knox come
Mm.
back, that would mean nobody on the team is going to get drafted. Is that right? Is there somebody I'm
Yeah.
forgetting? That's the only
No,
three. It was Boogie,
yeah,
Knox, and Thero, right?
and Theo, yeah.
I wonder how long it's been since Cal has not had a player drafted. I mean,
Probably a very long time.
it's
That's
got
why
to be a long time.
I would be very, very surprised if, yeah, Theo doesn't get drafted. Boogie would have gotten drafted, but
Well, I
I'm
mean,
guess
like
like
coming back, instead, like choosing to come back to
right.
college rather than go through with the draft, is crazy to me. That it is different circumstances. Like
Well, it's
you have
exactly
a much bigger reason to think about coming back than before. Um,
right. Before
but
you wanted to
it is
get
still an
paid, right?
interesting stat. Like it's like people are gonna hold it to them. They're gonna hold that over Cal and Arkansas fans,
Yeah.
going like, "Hey, once Cal went to Woo Pigland, he couldn't his draft his players getting drafted went down, and it's like, man, this is a completely different era." But it
Right.
still would be an interesting thing to see. I guess I'm okay with it because I do want Thero and Knox back. So at the expense of Cal breaking his streak of sending players to the NBA year after year, I would take Knox and Thero back.
I mean, it is different. You get paid now,
Mm-hmm.
um, whereas before you had to go to the NBA to get paid.
Right.
Um, so
Especially to
it's a
get the
lot
big
different.
bucks.
Yeah, especially in the SEC, you can get the big bucks directly here if you stay.
Yep.
Um, so it's a lot
Yeah.
different here, but it will be interesting. I mean, yeah, like to your point, I would rather have them back um, as well.
I mean, and if you're a really good player, like you can get round two money, and even
Right.
high end, like the higher part of the first round, you can get that type of money in college now if you're that good. Um, so I mean, it really does change things. So if you have eligibility and you're in the second round, you know, uh, they can pull you back in with the same type of check.
You know how many
So
people were like in terms of were getting back versus transferred? I know we had a few like that were transferred, right? We talked about Big Z transferred.
yeah.
Um, so there was a few that transferred. So I mean, next year's roster is going to be interesting, if especially if we don't get Theoro and or
Yeah,
Knox
and I
back.
think they have a backup plan. But like you said, Knox. I mean,
I mean,
it would
yeah,
be weird if he didn't come back. To be honest, like it would be like it would. He would have to know something that nobody else knows about. There's like this
yeah,
hidden agreement that nobody knows about that he's going to get in drafted in like the second round or something.
mhm.
Um, but I just don't see him not coming back. And then Thero would be like icing on the cake. It would just be like, wow, like this team, they're gonna get hyped a lot, and they better live up to the hype because they will get a lot of hype if
I
both
mean,
Knox and Thero.
it was cool that when Calipari came in, um, we had no roster, and he
Yeah,
took this almost no roster team to pretty far
right.
in the tournament. So um, now that he's had more time, he's going to have some players come back. I think he's a good recruiter and a coach. So I think we'll be fine in terms of um, even if they don't come back, they come back. Whatever players that we get next year, he's got a much better start this year than he had
Hmm.
last year. So um, yeah, I'm excited for that season and to see how it goes.
Yep. Um, well, let's finish off with a little bit of football here. Um,
Mhm.
I'm just gonna ask you, like, what are your expectations for football? I know it's a harder question to answer because there's the what are your expectations, and then what are the athletic department's expectations, and
Right.
what do you think for each of those? Like for you versus the athletic department, what are the expectations?
My expectations are low. Compare compared to I'm sure what the athletic department is expecting. My
I
expectations,
mean more of like, okay, yeah, tell me your expectations, but also like what is the bare minimum of what should happen to keep the current regime there, the coaching
I don't
regime.
I that's why I'm saying my expectations are low because I don't think the current regime is going to stay after this year. I do think
Oh
this is like
man.
the last year. I looked at the schedule. It's a lot. I mean, I'd be impressed um, if I'm wrong because
That
much
is the
tougher
thing.
this
Like
schedule is compared to last year.
yeah.
Not easy in terms of the away games that we have. So yes, I'm nervous, but I don't know. I do think I'd hope
How many
Pittman
wins are we
surprises
getting
me.
next year? How many wins? Come on.
Max, max. I'm gonna go with 5.
Okay. That's what I
That's
was going to
not
go with.
terrible. That's not terrible.
The I guess it
but
depends what program in the SEC you're talking about, you know.
that's not terrible
And
in a
I
sense
hate that
that
we're saying that about football. That 5 wins is not terrible.
oh, it's terrible,
I
but
I
it's
hate that we
just
have to
terrible
say that
enough.
because this fan base really wants, you know, this football
I'm
team
gonna
to be
sound like a
good.
negative Nelly right now, but honestly, this season I'm counting as a scratch,
Mm.
and I'm excited for the 2026 football season. Very excited for the 2026 football season, not the 2025 2026, but the
Yeah.
2026 2027 season, because that's gonna, I think, if we do have these 5 wins, we're gonna change this program into
Mm.
something else for next year, and that's what I'm more excited about than going into this
Are you
year.
talking
So
about
it's
changing it into something else, as in getting momentum with the current coaching staff, or are you talking about getting a new coaching staff?
I think completely new coaching staff starting over and getting
So, do you think
a
that there's
big
any way
name
they survive 5 wins?
this year,
The coaching staff,
like for the entire season.
if they go five
I still
wins,
think
are they still here next? Are
no,
the next
next year
year?
no. I think they're still here this entire year. I doubt there's a in season firing. I'd be very surprised if there's an in season firing, but I do
Oh, okay.
expect a
An
change
end of
for
season
next season.
firing.
End of season firing. Um,
God. All right.
in season would just, I think, I'd be okay with it too, honestly, because I'm again, like I said, I'm counting this season as a scratch.
Yeah.
What I'm expecting doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen, right?
Right.
I would,
Yeah.
we would love for this team to just
10 wins. Yeah.
surprise us, and Pittman being like, "Yes, we're going to take this hardest schedule
Yep.
that everybody counted us out on, and we're
Yep.
going to start winning these games
Would
now."
love to see it.
Um, but a lot of things. What did you think about what's his name? Uh, Amaliva, whatever Amaliva or whatever.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
let
I believe.
Amalia.
Oh
He
yeah,
did
I guess
leave us.
we didn't really do a reaction to that. Yeah, so okay, whenever Nico hit the portal for me, that's whenever I was like, okay, this kid is probably going to hit the portal after this year. His
Yeah,
brother. His brother's going to hit the Madden will hit the portal after this year, and all that. And I was like, okay,
yeah,
he's not going to be here very long. His brother, kind of took advantage of the situation at Tennessee. And so I was like,
yeah.
okay, well, this may be a situation we need to keep an eye on here. I did not see it happening this soon. Again, like I said, I was expecting it to be after this year. I didn't think he wasn't going to even like play or prepare for this year. Or I thought he was going to be here. I was like, I just couldn't comprehend that we landed him here with a big NIL deal, and then he would leave right at the end of spring, right before the season
Right.
started. That just didn't really make sense. But then whenever it happened, it's like, whoa. And it's a good thing that we're going after him for it. You know, uh, you've got to hold
Yeah.
these guys accountable. That's a lot of money, and a lot of that money is
Two
coming
point
from
four million
fans.
dollars. Yeah, $2.4 million
Yeah,
dollars is a lot,
and a lot of
and
that's from fans. Like, I mean, I've donated to the NIL fund, and I want to see success here, in the sports department. And whenever we are bringing people in, spending money on them, I expect us to keep those guys because that's where our money's going towards. So whenever that's a bad reflection on the university or the staff or whoever's organizing all these to not create a agreement that is binding. Like, you've got to
right.
create a binding agreement. If you are paying these guys a lot of money, make sure it is binding.
Well,
Um,
Arkansas still, I'm what I'm seeing is Arkansas is still in the legal battle
right.
with
Yes.
him in terms of getting the money back.
Yeah.
Now it says they're only seeking 200,000. Only that's still a lot of money,
Right.
um, But
Well, I think they brought the big guns. Like they hired a big shot attorney
mhm,
to take on the case. And I mean, yeah. And I think everybody else is waiting to see the result of that. But yeah, I mean, we're just going to have to wait and see, I guess. And I mean, this could take some time. I mean, they might just do a
right.
settlement. They may not even want to take it to court. Um, but I don't know. I hope that we come out good on all this and that, it doesn't hurt our recruiting, which I don't think it will. But that we get back enough money so that we still can recruit. That's the other thing is like if we're losing money on guys because they're not staying here, well then how are we going to go and pay their replacements,
Right.
So but
So
but
it's this
yeah.
is I mean interesting too in terms of he signed the 1 year, he signed a 1 year NIL agreement
Yeah.
that was worth around $500,000, right?
Yeah.
Um, and
That's
so it's
that's
just
a lot.
interesting,
Like that's a lot for a second, third string quarterback,
right?
Um yeah. That's a lot. And now he's
It's
not
also
even
gonna
here.
be it's also
So,
gonna be a thing for the future too, in terms of signing future contracts and
yep.
future players, and not just for Arkansas, for other teams. Every all teams, like, can a player just sign X amount of money and then change his mind and collect some of the money and then leave
Yep. All
if
right.
he
Well,
gets paid
Sid,
more?
Sid, I got to ask you because we are running short on time here. Let's see here. So, for you, what is the win count for a successful year for football? And
Hmm.
then what if you were the athletic department, what would your line in the sand be for the coaching staff next year of you need to win this number of games? Um would it I guess would that be the same as your for your I guess that would probably be the same for your successful. But
Um,
and then
it's a little bit different, yeah,
the last part is what do you think the actual line in the sand is? So give your take of what you think
yeah.
it should be and then what do you think it actually is?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit different for me than the AD and the staff, because
Yeah.
they have a number, I believe, in their mind that I think they can essentially talk fans out of. Like, mediocrity to them, I believe, is okay, in terms of
Uh-oh.
getting,
We're going to use that word here.
yeah, because I think they can talk themselves out of committing to another year.
Mm.
Um, and mediocrity, I think we make a bowl game. That's both I
Mm.
think the AD and then the group agree with. I think
Right.
that's a
Cuz you
for
said
sure.
five wins, which would be
I said
below
5 wins,
eligibility.
which would be below, and I think we don't make. I do agree. I don't think we make it, but I do think what I'm aligned on and what the organization is aligned on is making it to another bowl game. Like, that's an expectation that
Yeah.
draws the line in the sand. To your point. Um, Now, how many more wins do we get outside of that? That's going to be key for me, um, in order to continue on to the next year as well. If we barely make a bowl game, um, no, I don't. I don't. I'm not okay with that. Um, and I'm hoping the organization says the same thing, because I think at this point, just making a bowl game is mediocrity. We keep talking about it. We talked about it this last year as well. Making a bowl game should not be the only expectation. Being at the top of our division should be um, the expectation.
I don't know if you're seeing the chat right now.
What's going on, Chad?
Um, I think this he's one of those Touch Talk with Ty viewers, Kentucky fan. Um, God, oh man, yeah. I don't know. Football, man, it's tough. I hate that we're here talking about mediocrity. I want football to do really well. I don't want to hate on the football team. Basketball and baseball seem to be on the right track, but and softball too, if you want to include them in there. But like football has got the fans really want football. I really want to see football do well, and it sucks. Like 5 wins seems like such a struggle. That why does it seem so hard to get 5 wins? Well,
Right.
like why? Why is it so hard for
What?
us to see 5 to 6 wins?
Right.
And
What I'm excited
yeah,
for next season was just a couple things like having Notre Dame play here in Arkansas will be cool. Having A&M for the first time play here in Fayetteville will be cool. There's a couple things that I'm hoping would be a good momentum for football.
mhm.
If we win those 2 games out of the 5, um, those 2 would be huge. I still don't think
Yeah,
it's enough, but
I
I just think it for the fan base, we'd appreciate it.
yeah. So for me, if I were the athletic department, from my fan perspective, it's 8 or skate. I mean, you gotta get to 8 wins, and I know it's a difficult thing to do in the SEC, but that's just me. It's 8 or skate at this point, and keep moving up. I just don't feel like that we're moving up. Um, I think that the athletic department's number is 5. I think if they get to 5, that they may make a case to try to keep him.
No way.
Um, I do. I think it's 5. I think that they want to put more resources into baseball and basketball. They believe that putting more resources into those sports, they can
But that's
win
not a bowl
championships or
game,
be contenders.
right? It's not a
I
bowl
just
game,
5 games is a bowl game.
is it?
Yeah, it is now. Yeah, they made it where
Okay.
5 games is a bowl game. Um, so unfortunately,
That's crazy.
I believe 5 is the athletic department's. That's their expectation, or that's the point that cross 5, and you're staying.
I
Unfortunately,
changed my mind then. I didn't know 5 games was a bowl game. In that case, it's would be embarrassing still to make a bowl game with 5 games.
I
I
know.
don't. I don't. At that point, I don't hope we win 0.
I mean,
Um,
heck, I mean, if we get 5 wins, is that a somewhat?
I mean,
I mean, it means we knocked off somebody, right? Notre Dame would be
not.
interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
Alabama A&M. Hopefully, we win that. Arkansas
yeah,
State. Hopefully, we win that.
man,
That's 2.
beating Texas and Austin. I mean, that may even secure Sam his job. Um, but I think we're
Yeah.
gonna head out of here. It's been about 40-ish minutes. I know you said you had something that you got to do at
Yeah.
7, but we wanted to get back on here, continue where we left off, and we're gonna try to get on here more often, more live shows and everything. It's been tough. We've been kind of really busy job searching and other things, trying to get everything settled back down so that we can, uh, you know, get back after it and get more consistent here. Because it does take a lot of time, but we love doing this. We love talking about the Hogs. We love our Razorbacks, our Woo Pigs. But yeah.
Let's go
Anything
beat
else you
Ole
want to
Miss.
add? What was that?
Let's go beat Ole Miss tomorrow.
Yeah. Beat Ole Miss in softball and baseball. Let's win the SEC championship. Let's win the regional championship, the super regional championship, and let's go and win Omaha. So, Woo Pig Suey.